Welcome to the Boombah All-American Selection Show. I'm Olivia Stacy alongside USSSA Senior Vice President of Events, Matt Trebuchan. We have some exciting news. We're going to continue our announcement of the athletes who were selected to play in this year's All-American Games. Today we're going to talk about the Atlantic Division. Can you take us through the tryout process that these athletes went through?
Sure. We have 24 regional tryouts. The country's divided into 8 regions, 3 tryouts per region. And at a tryout, they go through a pro-style workout, 60-yard dash, infield and outfield velocities, throwing strength, and fielding. Pitchers do a bullpen session, catchers do pop times, hitters hit. It's a true test and a true measurement of each athlete.
A tough tryout process. We'll find out who made the cut. We kick it off with our 9U American team. Out of Seminole, Florida, Andres Alvarez, Michael Cabrera from the Miami Prospects organization, Jalen Fox representing the Pinellas Park Crushers. From Georgia, Reed Giles. From Bethlehem, Georgia, Judson Hartwell. Coming from Atlanta, representing Georgia Stars, is Braden Leonard. From Miami is Mario Magana. Mason Mims joins us from Georgia. From the Miami Prospects organization is Robert Pereira. Christopher Ritter will join the team from Georgia. And from Atlanta is Nathaniel Thomas. And coming from DeLand, represents Team Crush, Evan Vogel.
Evan's a slick little infielder with a strong arm and quick hands. And being from DeLand, Florida, we all remember the last great player to come out of there, Chipper Jones.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to our national team. We have Brady Blanks coming out of Jupiter, Florida. Representing the Classic City Yankees is Thomas Furland out of Georgia. Josh Gibbs, also from Georgia. Representing Fishhawk Wolves will be Cal Johnson. And coming from down south in Miami is Devin Lopez. Representing Largo and the Total Baseball Sports Academy Patriots is Hunter Maddox. Jonathan Medina from Miami, Florida. Out of Georgia, Ethan Murray. Carter Payne out of Marietta, Georgia. From the Miami Prospects organization in Florida, Emmanuel Sanchez. Malcolm Webb out of Beaufort, South Carolina. And Ray Yarrow from Miami, Florida, representing Miami Prospects. Now we move on to our 10U American team. We have Gage Adams out of Georgia. Representing Miami out of Tigers Elite is William Alvarez. Nicholas Benstand from Coconut Creek. Trayson Cameron from Vero Beach. Team Easton Red. Coming from Titans Baseball in Georgia, Kyle Crisp. Colin Hammond out of Dallas, Georgia. Derrick Henry joins the team from Lakeland. Coming from Florida and the Niceville Traveling Eagles is Steele Marshall. Also from Lakeland, Florida is Wilfredo Ortiz. KJ Scobie from Lakeland, Florida. Representing Fury Black out of Georgia is Connor Schaus. And Samuel Soto from Miami, Team Miami. Let's take a look at our national team. They'll be playing with Braden Ayers out of West Melbourne. Hailing from Hialeah is Randy Balsero. Representing Bravo Warriors out of Florida, Connor Cantillo. Brendan Groom out of Canton, Georgia. Zachary Hoppers coming from Orlando, Florida. Zach Hunholtz from Lake Worth. And a member of PBG Gamblers out of Palm Beach Gardens, Bryce Jackson.
Bryce, a crafty southpaw with upside stuff and a potent power package.
Out of Hampton, Georgia is Landon Leonard. Gavin Mixon joins us from Georgia. Representing the Done Right Dogs organization is Alexander Morgan. Andy Perez out of Orange City, Florida. And from Fayetteville and the Peachtree City Panthers is Jack Ryan. And now for our 11U American team. Tanner Cullen out of Florida represents the Chandler organization. Isaiah Eberhardt from Port Orange, Florida. From Panhandle Athletics in Pace, Florida is Walter Ford. Noah Greenside out of Coral Springs, Florida. Leighton joins us out of Gwinnett. From Elite Squad is Manny Marin out of Hialeah. Cooper Melvin from Valdosta, Georgia represents the CGSA Bandits. Jake Peeler from York, South Carolina. From Georgia, Chandler Pollard. From Miami, representing the Commanders organization is Nicer Sanchez. Tyler Williams out of Monroe, Georgia. He represents the Walton Lookouts. From Tallahassee, Florida is John Wu. They'll be playing the national team, and on their roster is David Bosk from Miami. from the Stallions Baseball Organization in Riverview, Florida is Jaden Brown. Caleb Campbell out of Lakeland. Representing Miami and from the elite squad is Daniel Hernandez, Aaron Hobson from Ellenwood, Georgia, and Anthony Hunterberg out of West Palm Beach in the Palm Beach Gamblers.
Anthony's a true blue-chip pitching prospect, and he also knows how to handle the lumber.
Also on the national team with him is Antonio Jimenez out of Miami Lakes, Florida, Eliam Montalvo from Florida representing the Wildcats, Ross Norman is coming from Georgia, represents the Georgia Bandits, Jose Pugh out of Santo Domenico, and Brandon White out of Coral Springs, Florida, Cooper Zahner out of York, South Carolina. Congratulations to all those athletes who will represent their region in this year's All-American Games. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to find out how Boombah is getting involved. Stay with us.
Being selected in the NPF draft, you are immediately welcomed into an organization that demonstrates work ethic, dedication, and love for fast-pitch softball. As the official uniform provider for the NPF, we at Boombah recognize this. Our unparalleled craftsmanship shows in the way the products look and perform for these high-level athletes. Boombah's cutting-edge uniforms, products, and our commitment to the sport of fast pitch are why we are the official uniform provider for the NPF.
Welcome back to the Boombah All-American Selection Show. And Matt, why don't you explain how Boombah is going to impact these young players?
Well, sure. Once again, Boombah is supplying the jerseys for the All-American Games. Each player gets 2 of them, full sublimation, digital color, popping hot, fancy, looking good, type of jersey they're going to wear on the field for play. But after the games, they'll be wearing these jerseys just around.
They're going to look like true professionals out there, and it is the best of the best in youth baseball. Now let's continue with our rosters. We kick it off with our 12U team. And now for our 12U team, we kick it off with our American roster. Skylar Arroyo out of Castleberry. From the Elite Squad Legends is Jorge Bello. Christopher Buchanan from Georgia. Giovanni Cueto out of Miami representing Elite Squad Legends.
The G-Man's as pure as cane sugar when it comes to hitting. He has some serious pop.
Definitely keep an eye out for him. Also on the American team is Jack Messmore out of Niceville, Florida. From Coral Gables, Florida is Juan Jesus Leandro. Ryan Lowe joins us from St. Petersburg, Florida. From the Wildcats organization in Kissimmee, right here in our backyard, is Eder Montalvo. Adam Parzyk from Tallahassee. Representing Elite Squad Legends is Michael Quevedo. James Snipes out of Woodstock, Georgia. And from Weston, Florida is Yul Tejada. And now for the national team, we have out of Miami, Salvador Alvarez. Angel Alverio from Crestview, Florida. Representing 5-tool baseball out of Georgia, Matthew Bilbo. Zach Driggers from Zephyr Hills. Representing Leatherbusters out of Georgia, Caden Everett. Gian Flores joins the national team out of Oviedo, Florida. From Palm Beach Gardens, representing the Palm Beach Garden Thunder, is Ryan Fodero. Ryan Fodero out of Palm Beach Gardens. Out of Woodstock, Georgia is Jordan Fricks. Sammy Radaba out of Florida, representing Power Mill Stingers. And from Orlando is Adrian Sells. From Miami, representing Florida Stealth is Sal Stewart. And Michael Williamson from Snellville, Georgia. From South Carolina is Benjamin Beckwith. Connor Brinson joins the team out of South Carolina, also representing Lower Lexington Legends. From Tampa, Jacob Coe. Jose Hernandez out of Hollywood, Florida. Mason Hans out of Ellington, Florida. From Oakwood, Georgia, John Tyler Maynard. Isaiah Montez out of Kissimmee, Florida. Representing Davie Elite out of Pembroke Pines is Daniel Monroe. Joseph Nigel out of Merritt Island, Florida. Representing Team Evo out of Hialeah is Christian Olazabal. Jorge Padron out of Miami, Florida. And Alex Uloa out of Doral, Florida.
Smooth as silk on the infield and harsh as a hurricane in the batter's box. He got game.
And now for our national roster, we have Bryce Aldrich out of Gibsonton, Thomas Barnhart out of Georgia, Adam Bingham out of Trinity, Florida, representing North Tampa Titans. From Stockbridge, Georgia, Theodore Carter. Jacob E. Long joins the team from Palm Beach Gardens in Florida. From the South Fundamental Giants organization out of Georgia, Yakur Madison. Masson Moreo out of Longwood, Florida. Coming from Weston is Jesus Mota. Representing Panthers Elite out of Hollywood, Florida, Joseph Perez. Travis Stapleton from Claremont. And out of Georgia, Peachtree City is Blake Summers. Also on the national team, Aiken Williams out of Waco, Georgia. Now it's time for our 14U American team. We kick it off with Dylan Cruz, who comes from Longwood, Florida. From Lake Arthur is Tristan Doucette. Caleb Joshua Freeman from Greenville, South Carolina. Playing for the Southern Pride Baseball organization in Georgia is Kyle Johnson. From Kissimmee is Alex Montalvo. Also from Kissimmee is Javier Perez. From Mount Pleasant, South Carolina is Thomas Provenzano. Jonathan Ramallo joins us from Miami, representing Miami Bulldogs. From Eagles Baseball out of Orlando, Joseph Simmons. Michael Simonello out of Titusville. Gabriel Shostrom out of Miami. Jackson Lucas out of Alabama, representing Jag Elite. All right, and now for our national team, they'll be going up against that American roster is Idris Abdur-Rahman out of Georgia. Jameer Brooks from Grayson, Georgia, representing Team Grizzly. Salvador Castellanos out of Miami. Blake DeArville out of Apopka, representing Apopka Lightning. Rossman Diaz from Macon. Out of Team Grizzly in Georgia, Michael Donnelly. Isaac Farrer out of Coral Springs, representing the Warriors.
Isaac's got quick reactions, strong arm, serious game knowledge, a true leader on the diamond.
From Lexington, South Carolina, Alex Grant. Kevin Izquierdo out of Hialeah. He plays for the Cobras Green. Out of Georgia, Christopher Kemp. Terrence Phillips III will come to Florida from Lithonia, Georgia. And Ivan Zabrano out of Miami. He plays for Doral Academy. Congratulations to all those athletes who will represent their region in this year's All-American Games. And Matt, what can these young players expect? It's going to be an exciting week of competition.
Well, it's not only exciting, but the level of competition. Most of these players have never experienced anything like this. You got to understand, we're talking about the best of the best, chosen from all over the country. That means that every single at bat, every single pitch that's thrown, every single ball that's hit is being hit by somebody who is just as good as you are. That means there are no easy at bats and there will be no easy innings. It'll be a great week of competition.
The best players will meet August 7th through the 13th here in Kissimmee, so make sure to mark your calendars. We'll see you then.
Being selected in the NPF draft, you are immediately welcomed into an organization that demonstrates work ethic, dedication, and love for fast-pitch softball. As the official uniform provider for the NPF, we at Boombah recognize this. Our unparalleled craftsmanship shows in the way the products look and perform for these high-level athletes. Boombah's cutting-edge uniforms, products, and our commitment to the sport of fast pitch are why we are the official uniform provider for the NPF.